Okay, let's do Kanye West and Kim Kardashian.
I'd rather do him because I feel like he's more affected by the divorce than she is.
Okay. Okay.
He feels awful. He feels
Yeah.
awful. Yeah. He's in a bad state. I don't feel that he does actually have a mental issue. Because usually someone with a mental issue, that's apparent right away. But I don't feel that for him. I feel like he does have mood swings, as in, up, down, up, down. But I really believe, a lot of people say that mood swings are this or that, bipolar, etc., etc. But I feel like for him, he's just he's gotten bored. The reason he wanted to make a bid for presidency was because he's ready to push through to that next level. And that's why he had so much respect for Trump as well, because Trump keeps pushing through level after level after level, you know. And unfortunately for Kanye West, he has not been able to successfully do that. Right. So, and he's a very ambitious man. um he tries to keep her happy, which is damn near impossible, unfortunately for him. He's saying, nothing he does is right. It's never good enough for her. um
Whose
you know
decision was it to get the divorce? Obviously, Kim,
is
because she
it
filed.
Yeah, I think they've been talking about divorce for a while. And then he didn't want to let go. He was trying to make it work. He was trying to be better. um
What do they have kids together? Do you
yeah,
know?
yeah, they
Do
do.
they? Oh, right, right, right. They have the north, south, and stuff. What about the what was the meat and potato? Why are they? What was the biggest reason why they were getting divorced? Like, what was their?
Okay, the biggest reason they're getting divorced, they just don't really get along. They're going in two separate directions. She doesn't really support him in his endeavors. um Really, there's two big personalities, right? And it's a mismatch. Two big personalities like that. Like, really, you need somebody who's passive and somebody who's, more aggressive. And they're both very aggressive in their work. Therefore, you really need a passive person behind you. You know what I mean? So you can shine and, what I mean, stroke the ego and things like that. But with these two, they don't stroke each other's ego. It's almost like they're in competition with one another. And then, you know, he cannot freely be who he is, which is he wants to push those boundaries. He wants to go on to the next level. And his bid for presidency was to do that. But for her, in the circles that they roam in, that was very embarrassing. And so she was, her
What
PR
was
person.
embarrassing for the for what the
For
Trump
him
thing?
to, yes, for him to be an active Trump supporter, because what happens is, they feel like she feels like he lets the Black community down. That's not the circles that she roams in. And she's very influenced. Look at how she's made her living, right? She's very influenced about judgment, whereas he's not influenced by judgment at all. Everything that she does is judgment. So it's like she's wearing this, she's doing that, she's going here, she's carrying this purse. Everything's like, oh, I like that purse, or no, I don't like those shoes. Everything about her is based on other people's judgment. But for him, he doesn't care. It's just a total mismatch. And they actually don't get along. I feel like they live in separate rooms of their accommodation when they were living together. They're not living together now. Um, They're separated now.
Did
And
they
so, mhm.
so he did he when he was running for president, did this affect Kim Kardashian? Was this something that was looked down upon and stuff like that? I think I saw something that he felt like
Mm.
that was what cost him their marriage, the fact that he lost, or I don't know. Maybe it
From
was
his point of view, from his point of view, it wasn't, because he doesn't bend for people's judgment, right? But from her point of view, she's like, he's lost his mind. So to her, I guess that statement about him being mentally ill, I mean, that made sense to her, but really, it's just they live their life in two different ways. They have two different philosophies. And he doesn't care what people think, and she does, because
is
she makes money off the judgment of people.
so
So what was the be all and end all?
did they cheat on each other or anything like that?
No, I don't feel she cheated on him. Um,
Did he cheat on her?
I feel like there was some cheating there. Does she know about it? No, she doesn't know, but there was cheating there. I mean, but again, you have to look at what is the definition of cheating. Different couples have different definitions of cheating. Somebody thinks that making a phone call is cheating, or somebody thinks that having a male friend is cheating, or some, you know what I mean? So we really have to look
Okay, well,
into like what.
did he have sex with another person while they were married?
No,
Okay.
no. But he had a bit of an emotional attachment to somebody else.
Does
And in his
he
mind, that's cheating.
does he oh he had an emotional attachment to somebody
Yes.
else. Okay. Um
She didn't know about
so
it.
so does he have any, well, obviously she's just going to move on cuz she's a strong personality, but
Hmm.
he wants to save the marriage. Is it for the sake of the children, or does he have an attachment
No,
to her?
no, he's come to the. He knows it's done. He knows it's done. Would Would he like to save the marriage? Absolutely, but he just knows that what's done is done. There's no changing her mind. There's no going back. She has already moved on. Does she have somebody else in tow? I believe she may have someone else on the, in tow at the moment, but he can't confirm that. It's all very top secret. She has a whole team of people around her. She's heavily managed, right? She's got her PR team, she's got her fashion teams, or you know, and so they do a good job at what they do, which is putting her out there, putting her on, making sure she's getting a lot of press coverage, things like that, and making sure that her character is not um you know receives any detrimental blows. You know what I mean? Like, when do you ever see something really horrendous about Kim Kardashian? You don't. It's very rare, as far as I know, that you see anything apart from like a fashion problem. So she has a very strong team of people around her, and that keep her very well protected. He doesn't. He
Do
doesn't
you,
have that.
do
He
you
doesn't
have a
care.
connection with her? Can you
Yeah,
read her? What's her outlook on the situation? Does
she's done.
she's done with him? She looks at
Hmm.
it like a mistake. What about the kids? Is she worried about the effect it's going to have on the kids?
No, no, she doesn't, because they're going to be so well provided for financially that she doesn't think that it's going to be a problem. You know what I mean? Like, she does put everything into her children. Um, anything that they want, every whim is catered for. Her children are very well taken care of. The only problem is they don't get to spend too much time with their parents. You know what I mean? I feel like they probably spend more time with him, more quality time with him than her. She's very busy. with her team of people. But, I mean, as far as she's concerned, her opinion, no, her kids are going to be very well taken care of.
Is she going to be moving to Miami? Does she plan on
Um,
moving?
she does plan on moving. I'm not sure if she actually knows where. She wants to go somewhere warm. Um, she doesn't like cold weather. She's tired of cold weather.
What does she
Uh,
think about Kanye West in terms of like her respect for him and the fact that he was kind of off the chain? Does she think that he has mental illness from her perspective?
well, she thinks anybody who would like be a Trump supporter is, that did her head in. His support of Trump was problematic. They couldn't agree on anything. She just sort of let him go along with it. She just generally ignored it. But then in the end, that bid for presidency was the final blow for her. That was the final blow for her. That was just, she thought, I'm with somebody who's completely insane. And look, people get wrapped up into their politics, don't they? I mean, they do. And
Especially now.
especially now, exactly. And that whole election. And I mean, even now. And I think that if you have to live with somebody and raise a family with somebody, really, you have to be on the same team. And I couldn't imagine being in a house with such strong political opinions, to the point where one is running for president, black Republican president, and the other one, or right wing, and the other one is so far left. And so I mean, it was a mismatch. It was a
Okay.
mismatch.
Yeah. And she feels like he didn't care about her image, her press. It
No.
was like that was like irritating to her. And when he ran for
Mhm.
president, that was like the straw that broke the back, or was it other things that
For her, it was. For her, it was because,
mentally?
well, yes, but on an image level, that
Ah.
could take her down, and it was taking her down so fast. For
So
an
this is
image.
also so her decision to file divorce is also for image. Is this
Mhm.
something that was schemed up by her people, her press release people?
Well, I mean, they give her briefings on, her, like, I guess it's like a likability factor. And someone running for president like Kanye can take her down. You know what I mean? He doesn't care. But for somebody who lives solely because of the judgment of other people, that is the death knell for her. Especially since the majority of the people that like her are extremely young. They're the ones
I
that are
see.
going to buy her clothes. I think, doesn't she have a clothing or some sort of, she's got something she sells. They all do, I think. I don't know. I don't keep up with it. But, for someone like her, that's the death knell. That is because she relies on these young fashionistas. They.
But did she was she advised to do this? Was this more of her decision and then she checked with her PR firm, or the PR guys were like, "Hey, listen, if you leave Kanye, it's gonna raise your stock price." You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, this was her decision. She's a smart business lady. Make no mistake about it. She's extremely savvy. She knows this business now. She's been in it for a while. Her family's been in it. They know. And she could see immediately that when the phone calls started coming in and the complaints started coming in, and she was being trashed, her name was being trashed solely on the fact that he was running for president. She said, basically, that's it. he's got to go, because that's what she makes her money on. You know what I mean? Like, if your husband trashes your reputation by his decision to run for president, I'm not saying his decision was right or wrong. And he actually, she did ask him not to do it, but he just ignored her, because they're both very ambitious people, right? They're both going to do what they want to do. That's what I'm saying. They need a passive person to be in a relationship with, somebody who's going to go along with these ambitious decisions. And it's just not there for the both of them.
What is she
And
gonna
both
do
of them
now?
can.
What is she gonna do now in terms of relationships? Does she have someone she's gonna jump to, or she's gonna be single for a little while? I mean, what's her intentions?
I don't think she's going to be single for a little while. I think she's got someone lined up.
Okay. Do we know who it is, or it's unknown? Is it a known person or an unknown person?
Did I know? No, it's not a known person. It's not a well-known person at all. She doesn't want to do that again. Listen, this girl learns from her mistakes. You have to give her credit where credit's due. When there's a mistake, she quickly corrects it and she doesn't repeat it. So she learns from her mistakes, and she wants to be in a serene relationship so she can be who she wants to be, do what her thing, and then come home to somebody who's supportive of her.
Got it.
And
Got it.
Kanye didn't provide that, because he's like, I'm going to run for president and I'm going to do what I want to do. And there was no compromise in their relationship on a business level. It was, I'm going to, well, you're going to trash my reputation. Well, I don't care. I'm going to do what I want to do because I believe this is the right thing to do. And it just, he was going to take her down. So really, I mean, does she still love him? I think in a way she does, but it's an impossible situation. It was the road to nowhere.
Got it.
Does
Got
that
it.
make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so
Good.
logical. It has to be true. It's just that's the problem with these things. You're trying to go. They're just a regular couple with a regular, problems, and they got this business that is themselves. Their reputation is
Mhm.
basically a business, and they conflicted. And
Mhm.
she had this burden, and people like to say that Kanye is crazy, and obviously that can't be 100% true.
Well,
His image has to be that way, I guess. But
but but if you look at it in terms of this, right? The fact that she used that mental issue as her excuse,
did she?
um yeah, she said something like he was bipolar. You have to just ignore him. He's got mental health issues. He's
Oh,
bipolar. That sort of alleviated the problem. Then her fans were like, oh, okay, well, feel sorry for her because she's going through that. I don't feel that he is really bipolar. I just think he just doesn't care.
got it.
And they're both, again, they're just both very ambitious people. He's ready to bust through the next level, and she appeases her fans.
Got it.
Um, so it
Okay.
just wasn't going to work.
Okay. All right. Let's. So that's
And
our
he'll
Kanye
remarry.
Kim.
He'll remarry somebody that is also passive, more passive.
Is there
They
any other
both learned their
insights before
lesson.
we cut it? Is there anything else that's coming through?
No, no, not
That's it.
really. Just that she'll have. I feel like she'll have more children with someone else.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Okay.